Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Alton West. Today I'll have a guest on that will speak about an upcoming concert that everybody can come out and participate in. Also, I have a guest on from the LaGrange Police Department and the Chattahoochee River Keepers. So make sure that you stay tuned for those interviews coming up in just a moment. Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm sitting down with a community activist and TV personality, Mr. Kevin Dunn. Kevin, welcome to the show.
I'm glad to be here, man. Thank you so much for the invitation.
Well, it was a pleasure to sit down with you. You know, I'm a little nervous having another TV host on my show. So don't outshine me there, Kevin, okay?
Okay, I told you, I'm going to let you have this
Okay,
today.
all right. Very good. Well, Kevin, we're here today to talk about an event that's coming up in our community that everybody can get involved with. But before we get into that, talking about that, I want to just talk a little bit about Kevin Dunn and who Kevin is and kind of some of the things and the reason why you're kind of doing what you do here in the community.
Well, as I was sharing with you a little earlier, well, I'm married to Deborah Dunn. We have 5 kids. We've been married 18 years.
Okay.
Wife is a great reason on why I'm able to do what I do, because she gives me the support. Because like I said, I've been laid off like 2 times in the last 20 years.
Okay.
But needless to say, I became a volunteer at West Georgia Hospice after one of the layoffs. And I knew at that time I had a voice to sing. So I pretty much told myself that I was going to volunteer and sing in the nursing home.
Okay.
But one morning, I was coming from taking the kids to school from Holly Sand about 13 years ago, and that voice, God's voice, spoke to me and said hospice. And so I was in shock. I knew that was something that I did not want to do because, number one, the only thing I thought, and which everybody else think, that people actually go to hospice just to die and that's it. But that's not totally the case.
Right.
But anyway, after a couple of confirmations, I made the call and found out what I needed to do to become a volunteer. So I've been singing there once a week, every week for about the last 12 years. About
12 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been a blessing both ways for you and for the recipients that hear you singing there as well.
Exactly, because I never knew what the overall picture would be, and I never knew what even would come out of it. I just knew I just needed to be obedient to the voice of God and to be a part of this. And I've heard that a lot of people have been blessed by it, and I've been blessed because anytime we're all we were put here on earth to serve.
That's right.
We just need to find out where that niche is, because there's something in all of us that we can serve mankind and make mankind better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and I know that, you talk about your wife support and things of that nature. I think your support system goes even further than that.
It does.
Even before your wife came into the picture, you and I were sharing before you came on. Talk about your parental support and the influence.
Yeah, my mom and dad had, it was 81 or 84 years of experience in education. My mom taught English. She was a librarian. My dad was a mathematician, still is. He's 85 now. He's still tutoring kids in mathematics. I saw they just gave back unselfishly, and me growing up in the household at that time, it really didn't mean a lot. But as I began to get older, and I would see how they would just volunteer their time. My mom would just go and help other people, elderly get groceries, taking them shopping, just doing certain things and making herself available. My dad, after a long day of teaching and coaching, taking 8 and 9 kids home on the back of his truck after practice, day in and day out. My dad constantly, after a hard day's work, coming home at the dinner table, student called, Coach Dunn, I need help working out this math problem. And he would put his dinner down and he would go to that phone and politely help them out. And I, like I said, I just saw that. And as I got older, I felt like I wanted to make an impact on people's lives like that as well. And so I'm just thankful to be in this position where God uses my voice to help
Absolutely.
people out.
And and I think the foundation has to start there at home, and then it spreads abroad. It just like charity starts at home and then it spreads abroad. And we've seen and we see the benefits of your charity impacting in our community.
Yes, sir.
Like say LaGrange, Hospice LaGrange. And we're here today. We're going to talk about. I think this will be your first opportunity doing a concert for Hospice LaGrange, correct?
Yes, sir, it is. It will be held May the 1st, Friday, May the 1st, at the First Baptist Church on the Square in LaGrange, Georgia. This is something I've been wanting to do. I told you 3 or 4 years, probably the last 5 years. Just never got around to it. But because it takes so much work, because I put on concerts before. I've done an event called Worship Fest. I did like 3 or 4 years, and it takes so much work. But this year, I just felt I had a strong support to help this concert become a reality.
Okay.
So, like I said, First Baptist Church on the Square, they opened their church with welcome arms. And we needed a place that could hold a lot of people.
Okay.
Because we're expecting a lot of people to come, not from me, but just to join in worship and to make a donation to hospice. And you don't need any tickets. There's no cost to get in.
Okay.
We're just midway through the concert. We're just going to take up a general offering, and all of the offerings and proceeds. Anybody who would like to make donations, they will actually go to West Georgia Hospice. And if anybody's writing a check, make the check out to West Georgia Hospice.
Okay. Well, very good. And First Baptist on the Square, but I understand, and you're going to be the featured artist there, but I also understand that there will be a combined choir. Talk about that.
Like I said, the event is called A Night of Worship and Unity. And churches, we know churches are one of the most segregated places in the world. We can work together, we can go out and eat together, but we just don't get the opportunity to fellowship together.
Right.
So what this does, it allows different churches to come and fellowship together. I'm a member of Pilgrim Baptist. Our choir will be a part of the choir. Some members at First Baptist on the Square will be a part of the choir. Faith Baptist, some choir members will be a part of the choir. New Community will also have some members. And I'm waiting to hear back from a couple other churches. So it will be a combined choir who will be assisting me in singing, with me doing the leads on most of the songs. So it's an event that's going to, and even in that, a lot of churches, if you're really committed to your church, you really don't have chance to go fellowship with other churches. So what this does, this gives you an opportunity to fellowship with some other churches. So we're just inviting everybody to come out, regardless of your race, denomination, it doesn't matter. We're just coming together. We want to worship two things: worship God, and we want to make a donation to hospice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're talking about that, and as you were saying that, I know a lot of times, my church, I go there every Sunday, and we're a mixed congregation.
Right.
But, we travel out sometimes to other churches, but to go and visit other churches sometimes, like you say, when you're there and you have your set schedule, or you an assistant to the pastor or whatever, you very seldom get opportunity to go and visit others. And I think that's great. So the combined choir, so if there was someone that was listening today, Kelvin, and they're part of a choir or a singing group, or just wanted to be a part of the choir combined, how can they get in touch with you to do that?
Well, you can give me a call at 706-333-7463, and we're actually trying to keep a limit on that because we have some great sponsors who we're looking to try to feed the choir. The choir is going to come in around 5 or 5:15 on that Friday to rehearse. Because these are 3 universal songs that we're doing that people should be familiar with. And so that's why we just thought it would be a good time. People are so busy, we couldn't have another rehearsal. But the only thing, we just need an accurate count, before April the 24th. Because we plan on, like I said, giving some of the choir members a light repast. And we've also had some sponsors to help us out. Charter Bank has allowed us to have this event on billboards. Photos by Tiffany, Hog Heaven and Strickland Hamby, a lot of people who are sewing into this, so this event can get the exposure that it needs. Very good. Yeah.
Very good. And I did hear you say about midway of the program there will be a love offering.
Right.
Do you have a projected goal that you like to reach?
I have a projected goal, and like I said, I'm one who believes in God, and I expect a lot. So I'm looking at donating hospice anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000. And so, you do the math. We can get at least 1,000 people to come, and I don't know the correct figures, but it was a figure of around $10 or $15 base, you know, that goal could easily be achieved.
Okay.
If, you know, not telling you what to give, but you know, but that's just a basic minimum of like 5 or 10. I mean, with $10 or $15, where if 1,000 people came, that goal could easily be reached.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah.
So Kevin, and this is the first.
This is the first.
This is the first, and we know already it's going to be a success.
Yes, sir.
Because I know how caring and how giving the citizens of LaGrange are.
Right.
So this is the first. What do you see on the horizon for the future?
Well, I would like for it to be somewhat of an annual event, and to get other artists involved who are passionate, you know, about ministry, who's passionate about hospice or whatnot, and maybe get to the point where bring in some national recording artists to be a part of this event.
Okay.
You know, maybe utilize the new amphitheater or whatnot. I don't know how many people it'll hold or whatnot, but I would like for it to be an annual event where, you know, we can make a yearly donation to hospice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Kevin, I know that with the passion and the drive that you have for Hospice LaGrange, that the goal will be achieved and exceeded.
Yes, sir.
I do feel that. So, you know, I'm very thankful to have you on the show today to talk about this, and definitely we will do all that I can do to support it as well.
And man, I appreciate it. You know, avenues to expose it. You know, that's great, because that's what it takes. You know, sharing with the people on what is actually going on and making them aware and how they can, you know, participate.
Absolutely. Well, Kevin, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much too, man.
Right.
I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're back for more City Week in just a moment.
Just what you're looking for. You'll find it in one of the 28 shops in downtown LaGrange. Remember old school customer service? It's still here. Not to mention that perfect gift. That's the beauty of downtown LaGrange. So come on down.
Welcome back to City Week. I am sitting down now with the outreach manager for the Chattahoochee River Keepers, Henry Jacobs. Henry, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you, and we're going to talk a little bit about something that's been coming up here in the community that everybody can come out to and, you know, enjoy an event. But before we get started talking about that, Henry, I want to learn a little bit about you, because I know that you are new to the City of LaGrange. You've been here, I guess, roughly 6 months, 8 months?
Oh no, it's been longer than that.
Longer than that, so I'm just getting to know you then, right?
Yeah. If anything, I've been with Chattahoochee Riverkeeper now for almost 2 years.
Oh my, okay.
And then before that, I came down and was at LaGrange College.
Okay.
And got a history degree. Spent a lot of time in the community, getting to know people.
Okay.
And it's opened up a lot of doors, a lot of opportunities, and LaGrange has done a lot for me.
Okay.
And enjoy my time and love working for Riverkeeper.
Well, very good. And you say LaGrange College, and I think you were there on the baseball team, I understand?
Yeah, played a little ball.
A little ball there, all right, very good.
Played some music there too. So.
Oh, okay, and that's something that we're going to talk about here in a few moments, though. Now, the Chattahoochee River Keepers, tell us a little bit about what the Chattahoochee River Keepers, I guess, goals and objectives are.
Yeah, Chattahoochee Riverkeeper is a nonprofit environmental advocacy organization. Been around 21 years now. Kind of started back in the early 90s dealing with issues in Atlanta, and primarily with the Chattahoochee River. Okay. And kind of issues concerning water stewardship, and especially the way the city of Atlanta was dealing with issues with stormwater and sewer runoff into the river, as well as many other issues, but really having a focus on improving the quality of water in the Chattahoochee River, which over the past 20 years, the river has come back downstream of Atlanta. So that's directly impacted communities like LaGrange and West Point Lake. which is a lot cleaner than it was back in the 90s.
Well, and we all can do our part to trying to keep the lake clean, and I know that you're a young person and younger generation, and I think if it starts in that younger generation as well as the older generations, then we all see the results of that happening.
Oh yeah, and that's one of our big focuses, especially here in LaGrange and in the middle Chattahoochee, is education, working with kids, and we've got a lot of exciting opportunities coming up here, especially for West Point Lake.
Okay, well, very good. There's one that that's coming up on May the 1st. Everybody can come out to. Talk about that if you don't mind, Henry.
Yeah. So the second annual Art of Water.
Okay.
It is all about celebrating the Chattahoochee River and West Point Lake and the people here in this community, and especially with the focus on art and music.
Okay.
So at the Cochran Gallery on May 1st, that Friday evening will be the opening night of a river-themed art exhibit. And the artists are all either kind of up-and-coming or established artists. We have painters, photographers, sculptors, people from as far as Carrollton, Atlanta, Opelika, Columbus, a nice kind of spread of people from throughout the watershed.
Okay, well, very good. Yeah. And you talk about music there, and I understand that you're a drummer yourself, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I understand that you might have a little bit of influence on the band that's going to be here playing as well. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, a little bit of influence. If anything, wanting to kind of support some local acts.
Okay.
Al Zachary and Zach Knight, two great musicians, will get things started around 6, so people coming down to the square kind of evening time. You can come out. Main Street will be blocked off. The big city stage will be at the top of the street. And,
okay.
Be good music, and then following Al and Zach are the Chattahoochee Rhythm Keepers, a local drum group. Wonderful people. Tom Harris is the leader of that, and then the headliner from 8 to 10, kind of the real show is Mudcat and the Atlanta Horns. Great band out with a great kind of New Orleans funk soul sound.
Oh man!
Same week as Jazz Fest.
Okay.
Down in New Orleans, so bringing a little of that to LaGrange, especially with it's got that heritage, the French connection.
Okay, very good. Sounds like it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the main thing, just what's the cost to the public, Jake? Henry?
Oh, free to the public. So what I want to see, what I hope for is a nice evening, and just people all about downtown LaGrange.
Okay.
Going to the restaurants, having dinner, maybe getting something carry out. There'll be tables and chairs out on the street, and lights strung up, and good music. That's hopefully a good time. Okay,
well, very good. Free to the public, but if someone wanted to make a donation, can they do that?
We always accept donations. Riverkeeper is a nonprofit. We depend on the support of others from the community, and especially for our work, being kind of the watchdog here in the community and for the river and for clean water. That's something everyone has a stake in.
Absolutely. Well, Henry, I do appreciate you coming on the show today and taking the time to talk about that. And again, that's May the 1st from 5 until 10 in downtown LaGrange, the Art of Water. And we'll have the Mudcats as the main attraction, but also the Chattahoochee Rhythm Keepers, okay? So, Henry, thank you very much for being on the show today.
Thank you, Alton.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back for more City Week in just a moment. Welcome back to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now I'm sitting down with Corporal Wesley Engel from the LaGrange Police Department. Corporal Engel, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alton. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Well, it's a pleasure to sit down with you. And we want to talk about something that everybody can get involved with, but hopefully they will at least pay attention to what you have to say today so that they'll become a statistics here. And April is the month that we observe distracted driving.
Yes. Distracted driving, everybody always asks, what is distracted driving? Is anything that takes your eyes off the road, your mind off of driving, and your hands off the wheel. And whether it's just on the cell phone, which a lot of people are not aware of the cell phone laws. If you're if you're under 18 years old, you cannot text while you're driving, and you cannot talk on the phone. If you're 18 years or older, you can talk on the phone, but you can't text. Texting is one of our worst culprits. People texting and driving, and actually, according to the National Safety Council, it increases your chance of being involved in a collision or accident 23 times.
23% higher chance of you being in an accident if you're texting and driving. And why do you think, Corporal, why do you think, and I know the answer to it already, just want to ask, why do you think, even though we have laws, why do you think most of us still do that?
I think it's they're so busy in their life and so much is going on that they're in a rush or don't really think it's that much of a harm. But you know, and texting, and then the biggest thing with texting is people getting consumed in that conversation, that it takes over what they're doing, their task. They're not concentrating on driving. Now they're concentrating on that text or, you know, concentrating on that phone call. That's right. And some people talk with their hands, you know, and look around and stuff like that. And, you know, if you have a blowout and you got one hand on the wheel, and it's a front blow, if your front tire, it can be kind of hard to control that vehicle.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, and I know that texting is one. There's other distractors that people need to be aware of. And I think texting is number one, correct?
It is.
Talk about what some of the other distractors that we.
The top 4 distractions are you're looking at a map or something on the side of the road, even reading a sign while you're going down the road. Audible distractions, playing your music too loud or carrying on a conversation with somebody. Some people get so involved in the music. Some people really get too involved in the conversation they're having with somebody because, you know, instead of driving down the road, they're looking over like I am you, talking to the person in the conversation. And then physical distractions like is answering a phone call or eating. And one of the mental and cognitive is actually having your mind on what you got to do at work or what you got to do when you get home, or I got to go here, I got to go there, I got to get home at this time, I got this. And it's taking your mind, which is basically keeping your mind off it's distracting you driving.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, so many times, you know, and I'm guilty myself sometimes, you know, you're going down the road and you look off and it only takes a blink. You know, you look off at a sign or something, and the next thing you know, you're hitting the rumble strips on the side of the road there, and you're like, my Lord, you know. And then I think sometimes people want to overcorrect, and that we see that as a result of a lot of accidents.
Yes. And people get, when they get consumed in a conversation or the cell phone, people's missed their turn or had to slam on brakes because they realized where to come up on the road. It actually gets it quicker because your mind's not on driving, it's on what you're doing. That's right, absolutely. So the advice that you would offer our general public as far as distracted driving month goes, what would that be? Is try to put away them distractions. And you know, driving a car is like doing surgery. I mean, you need to concentrate. You know, several years ago you didn't have as many cars. I mean, if you stop and figure, if you have a family of 4 and most of your mother and father's work and the teenagers are, one might be in college, one might be a teenager, you usually have the car, you got 4 cars. And that's average. And you figure there's a lot more cars now if you go down any given time, whether it's Vernon Road or Morgan Street or the Parkway, and around 4 or 5, New Franklin Road, there's traffic everywhere. It's backed up. Absolutely. And people get frustrated because they can't make that light, or it take them a little bit longer, you know. If you've had a bad day, just sit in the parking lot and relax a few minutes. Sometimes if you sit and wait a few minutes, you might be avoid the traffic that you're going. And you know, if you want to look at your phone or make some phone calls before you leave, then a few minutes that you sit and wait might prevent you from being stuck in the traffic. You might actually catch the tail end of the traffic. That's right, absolutely. So, absolutely. You know, I think so many times, you know, as we get off from work or we're leaving the gym or we're leaving whatever event that we're leaving, we just have one goal in mind, and that's getting home or getting to our job or whatever that case may be. And like you say, we're so busily consumed with various things that we don't pay full attention to what we need to be, and that is the task at hand at that point, if it's driving, you know, to pay full attention to that. You know, back, you know, when you didn't have cell phones, if you had to make a phone call, you had to what? You had to wait till you got home. Go home. That's right. Or pull over to a phone booth. That's right. So you're not driving, you'd be actually can carry on the conversation. That's right. It's not affecting your driving. But now, you know, which the cell phones are wonderful. Like if you're on a road trip or something and you break down or something, or if you need, AAA to tow you, or somebody to tow you. Or if you're involved in a wreck, you can call the police, or if you observe people driving bad, you can call, stuff like that. So they are very useful.
Yes.
But
yes. Talking about driving, and I know that the police department, and I know that there's 3 certified defensive driving instructors, and you being one of those, and
yes, sir.
Sergeant Armstrong being another, and also I think McCoy.
Yes, Sergeant McCoy.
Talk about that and how people, the viewing audience, and especially our younger folks, can get involved with that.
Well, we teach a defensive driving class as say, like, somebody has a spotless driving record and they want to retain that. They go through the court system with the solicitor. It's a 6-hour course. And it's not for points. If you got to get points reduced or points off you for DUI, you got to go to pay for the DUI schools. But we offer the course with the court system, and it helps people with insurance and stuff like that, or if they're involved in an accident, have a spotless driving record. But on person that actually had authority is a solicitor. He knows more about what's going on with that. But it's a good class. I mean, I enjoy teaching, and because there's so much knowledge to put out there. When I went to school, they had like a driving. You went through like driver's ed school.
That's right.
And now, because of budget and everything, it's kind of like the parents teach them. And people realize that whoever teaches that person with the permit, if they got a bad driving habit, they'll probably pick it up because they see them driving in it. And might probably won't be involved in a wreck. As I ride around during the day, I'll see almost collisions. People pull out in front of somebody, or cut them off, or the light changes are automatically taken off. I mean, a lot of stuff that you do, if you can drive defensively, it's going to, one, save you money, because your insurance is going to be cheaper because you're not involved in a collision, or it's not going to be your fault, and you're not going to get a citation or get pulled or nothing like that. And being a defensive driver is taking them a few extra minutes, and you're basically just trying to prevent from being involved in a collision. You're actually looking for other things that could cause it.
Absolutely. So the course is offered on a monthly basis, Corporal?
We do it every other month.
Every other month, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If someone was listening and wanted to be involved with it, can you give them a contact number to call?
They have to talk to Sergeant Armstrong, which is
okay.
883-2603.
Okay, very good.
They can transfer them to his phone.
Okay, very good.
There's also a good video out for teenagers that's just starting to learn to drive, and it's called On the Road. It's actually got a distraction of teenagers and stuff when they're first starting to drive out, on their own, get their license, or not with their parents, or driving by themselves. It's at USAAEDfoundation.org.
Okay.
And it's free. It don't cost nothing. It's just some video information out that people can see, and let their teenagers watch it and see how, everything's on videos now, like YouTube, and when people videotape it, it goes viral and stuff. It's a good video. It shows distractions that, when you got a teenager just starting out, which they're not supposed to have, no be in a car but immediate family for the first 6 months.
That's right.
But teenagers, sometimes tend to don't realize the consequences of getting hurt, or when you're a teenager, you don't think about all that stuff.
That's right. You want your friends to ride with you.
Right. And it's a good thing is why they can watch the video and see what could happen.
Okay. Well, very good. And give them that website one more time if you don't mind.
It's USAAEDfoundation.org.
Okay. Very good. So the videos there, and also you all have materials at the police department that
I do. We have pamphlets like this
Okay.
that shows distracted driving if you want to know some pointers that call and statistics.
Okay.
And then this is put out by USAA Insurance. Then we got another type of distracted driving. We have pamphlets there in the front lobby of the police department. They're free.
Okay.
They have knowledge about seat belts, truck seat belts, motorcycles, child safety. Everybody always is asking about child safety, and it tells you where's the safest place for your child to be, and what the laws are, and what kind of seats, the comparison of the seats. And there's, some booster seats feel better to kids, and some booster seats, they don't work as good as with the child. It's kind of like, like a seat. It kind of fits perfectly right there. That's right. So any of them free pamphlets are free at the police department in the lobby. They can go in and, get as many as they want. Or
okay.
I don't want them to tow the case out.
But get what you need.
Get what you need to help you out to safely drive through the city of LaGrange.
All right. Well, Corporal, I want to thank you for coming on today. And as our viewing audience realize that this month, April, is Distraction Month. So make sure that you don't be distracted as driving. So thank you very much.
You're welcome,
for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining for City Week this week. My guests have been Kelvin Dunn, as he talked about an upcoming benefit concert for Hospice LaGrange that will be taking place on May the 1st at First Baptist Church, starting at 6:30 in downtown LaGrange. Make sure that you come out and help him reach his goal. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I had on from the LaGrange Police Department, Corporal Wesley Engel, as he talked about Distracted Driving Month. Make sure that you don't become a statistic by becoming distracted while driving. And lastly, I had on from the Chattahoochee Riverkeepers, the outreach manager, Henry Jacobs, as he talked about an event that will also be taking place in downtown LaGrange on May the 1st, the Art of Water. So ladies and gentlemen, come out and hear the bands that we're playing, and by all means, you might learn a little bit of something about our West Point Lake. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed all of these interviews, and as always, I want to invite you back for more of City Week.